In our final touch, Rudolph gets a day off.
If Santa's sleigh experiences any mechanical difficulties on Christmas Eve, well, he might get some help from dozens of festive skiers in Maine. Check them out. Some 240 Santas dressed in those iconic red suits and white beards hit the slopes to raise money for the 20th annual Santa Sunday on the snowy slopes of Newry, Maine benefits the Sunday River Community Fund. Everyone dressed in Santa gear got to ski and snowboard for free.
Oh, that's great.
That's very cool. And what a cool picture. That's awesome.
Yeah, we need a little bit of snow around here for our skiers.
I know, we really do. Not the cold, but
thanks for your help today.
Of course.
We'll see you tomorrow. And News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.
Right now at 5, while the head of the Wisconsin National Guard is resigning.
The Wisconsin Badger football team is headed to the Rose Bowl in 2020. We'll tell you how you can join them in Pasadena, California.
Plus, what's being done to make sure a grocery store on Madison's east side stays open.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
And thanks for staying with us. The cooler weather is moving in. We could see some slippery roads tonight.
So let's check in right now with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. And it's already getting colder out there, Gary.
It is. Temperatures are dropping below freezing west of Madison. Some of the roads are wet. Some areas had a brief burst of snow that came through. That is now heading eastward into Lake Michigan. So the precipitation is pretty much over with. But take a look at where temperatures are going. 41 was the high in Madison. Temperatures stayed in the 30s to our north and west. But look where they are now. Madison has just dropped below freezing at 31, already down to 19 in Viroqua. And you factor in these winds that are between about 15 and 25 miles per hour, times with some gusts up to about 35 miles per hour. We're seeing wind chills drop to the single digits, just barely above zero west of the Mississippi River. So expect the cold weather to perhaps cause some icy road surfaces. Skies will clear out overnight with temperatures dropping to around 10 and wind chills down to 10 below zero by morning. And tomorrow's high temperature not getting out of the teens, even though we'll have mostly sunny skies. Later on, I'll take a look at a forecast that gives us another cold day on Wednesday, but brings us some snow toward the end of the week.
All right, Gary, thank you. And remember, you can stay up to date with our weather on our free First Alert Weather app. It features a 10-day forecast along with hourly planners and traffic updates. You can download it in your phone's app store.
After a federal investigation showed the Wisconsin National Guard mishandled sexual assault and harassment allegations, the general of the Guard said today he will leave his post by the end of the year.
This was at the directive of Governor Tony Evers, who also announced 21 other changes that he wants to see to correct this issue in the state's military. Our Amy Reed is here now to explain how this will look. Amy.
Governor Evers asked for this investigation back in March, and we're learning the details of what it found today. Investigators had 78 in-depth interviews, reviewed more than 1,100 documents, and visited 10 sites throughout the state before coming to the conclusion that the Guard's policies and practices fail to hold perpetrators accountable and leave survivors unsupported. Evers said he is extremely upset and concerned with what investigators found, saying, quote, "Our service members deserve to be safe and supported while carrying out their important mission, which is why I've ordered the Wisconsin National Guard to implement top-to-bottom changes." Those recommendations come from the investigators, but Evers put them in an executive order today. It requires the Guard create an action plan and creates a new office that helps survivors of assault. On top of those and others, that requires the National Guard Bureau checks their work on fixing these issues in a review that's scheduled for next September.
Major story. Amy Reed reporting. Amy, thank you. A Columbus man was sentenced Monday to 6 years in prison followed by 6 years of supervision for possession of child pornography. 54-year-old David Burkett pleaded guilty in September to possession of child pornography. In January of 2018, the Department of Justice executed a search warrant on a home in Columbus. Burkett, who is a registered sex offender, admitted to having photos of nude underage boys on his electronic devices.
A Waukesha South High School student has been charged after authorities say he brought a gun to school last week and pointed it at officers. 18-year-old Tyrone Smith is charged with 5 counts, including making terrorist threats and second-degree recklessly endangering safety. Police say it all started when a student told the school resource officer that Smith pointed a gun at another student's head last week. Police said Smith pointed a gun at officers. Officials say that is when an 11-year veteran of the Waukesha Police Department fired 3 shots. Smith was hit by officers' gunfire twice in the arm and once in the leg.
These are the type of offenses, Mr. Smith, that strike fear in the heart of all of us. that if these allegations are true, this type of incident, we see these incidents playing out across the country. And we pray that it doesn't come to our doorstep. And now it's on our doorstep.
He is set to appear in court again on December 17th.
The 16-year-old Bristol girl who went missing Friday night has been located. The Dane County Sheriff's Office says Lindsay Olson was found today. Officials say she went missing from her home Friday about 10:30 p.m. with reports saying an unknown person driving a black vehicle had picked her up. The man killed in an ATV crash in Greene County over the weekend has now been identified. Deputies say 69-year-old David Laurent of Blanchardville died in that crash. He was driving the ATV at a low speed while traveling on a steep embankment. That's when investigators say that ATV overturned, causing him to be thrown from it and become trapped underneath the vehicle. He was pronounced dead at the scene.
A toddler who went missing in northwestern Wisconsin has been found dead. Rice Lake police say they received a call last night that a 2-year-old girl who was missing from her home and the front door was open. Officers began searching and issued an urgent call for help to find the girl in a Facebook post. Police dogs and a drone were deployed. Shortly later, an officer using a thermal imaging tool found the child in the Red Cedar River. She was rushed to the hospital, but life-saving measures were unsuccessful.
A man has been arrested after a 3-vehicle crash in Fitchburg happened about 7:10 at Lacey and South Cyene Road. Police say a driver failed to stop at a stop sign, which caused the initial crash. One driver had minor injuries. The man who did not stop was arrested for first offense OWI.
The Badgers are heading back to the Rose Bowl this year.
And of course, we know a lot of Badger fans are thinking about going to cheer them on New Year's Day. Jamie Perez found some local travel deals, and she joins us now with details on what some of your options might be here, Jamie.
Right, well, there are a few options for package deals if you're thinking about going. The Wisconsin Alumni Association and the Burkhalter Travel Agency are both offering some deals that are selling pretty fast here. The prices range from $1,500 to $3,800 depending on how many nights you want to stay and what you want to do while you're there. Package options can include a plane ticket, hotel accommodations, the parade, the pep rally, tailgate, end zone tickets, souvenirs, and more. The Wisconsin Alumni Association says the best deal would be to go for 4 nights to get the most out of your experience.
I think the best deal is being there for 4 nights, because if you're going to go all the way out to Los Angeles, you want to take in everything.
Wendorf also said that a lot of the tickets through the Alumni Association are already almost sold out, but there are deals through the Burkhalter Association as well. We'll have more details on what those deals are coming up tonight at 6. There's also a link on our website that you can follow, and it will take you directly to the page that you need to buy tickets. But like I said, these are selling pretty fast. The Alumni Association alone is taking about 1,500 guests.
All right, Jamie, thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. The Badger volleyball team will take on Texas A&M in their Sweet 16 matchup. Regional all-session tickets went on sale this morning, but they sold out within minutes. Single session tickets will go on sale Friday morning at 8:30. The Badgers will play the Aggies on Friday at 1 o'clock. Hawaii and Nebraska will play the following game, and the winners of both of those matchups will then play on Saturday.
The Shank Atwood Starkweather Yahara, or SASY neighborhood, campaigning to support Jennifer Street Market.
Gabriella Becerra joins us with why the community is trying to keep the local grocery store right where it is. Gabby?
Jennifer Street Market rents space from Shep's Ice Cream, a business that filed for receivership, an alternative to bankruptcy. But now neighbors are raising money to support the grocers because they say this store is essential to the neighborhood.
The porterhouses are great, which I don't have right now, but the New York strips, the rib roast.
Whether it's meat for his restaurant
Thanks, I appreciate it.
or groceries at home, LJ Kavanaugh has been a lifelong customer at Jennifer Street Market.
They deliver every day. I'm just actually grabbing this for home tonight for dinner at my house.
Like a lot of people living in the Sassy neighborhood, Kavanaugh is hoping his local grocer can stay where it's been for the past 40 years.
Very concerned, very concerned. It's something that we're working with Steve and the rest of the family to try to raise some money to keep them up and running and keeping the neighborhood.
That's why the Sassy Business Development Association started a campaign to help support the owner's bid to buy the property.
Plan A is to hopefully be able to go to this bidding process and end up as the owners of the property.
The funds raised will enhance the money owner Steve McKenzie and his co-owner have set aside for the bid.
This is their store, and they are definitely backing it.
And in return, the community is hoping to keep the store on the corner of Jennifer and Division.
We're really looking to keep a cornerstone community business where it is, and the ability to just walk a block away and go pick up some groceries or get morning coffee on a Sunday and bump into your neighbors is something indispensable to a lot of us.
The Sassy Business Development Association has a fundraising goal of $100,000 by December 15th. There will be events neighbors can attend, and we will have that information on our website, channel3000.com.
Gabby, thank you. Madison streets crews are trying to lower salt use while keeping the roads snow and ice free. The city says it has used 9,000 tons of salt. They used that last year after they saw about 40 inches of snow in a 30-day time frame. Of course, that changes year to year, but city workers ensure their salt use is appropriate. They say they know the negative impacts it has on the environment and our drinking water, so only 50% of city streets are salt routes, mainly major thoroughfares. They also use brine to pre-treat the roads when appropriate, which is a salt and water mix, all the while remembering that safety is priority one.
We're going to continue in our efforts to use as little salt as we can, but also keep the roads safe as well, because safety is the most important thing for us.
And in terms of salt supply, the city says it's doing just fine despite some earlier snowfalls. More to come on News 3 Now at 5. Up next, the day of disruption at today's impeachment hearings. We'll have more from Capitol Hill, where attorneys for and against are testifying.
And coming up tonight at 6, a local pizzeria is closing 2 of its 4 locations. Why the owner is scaling back tonight at 6.
And on Wall Street, the Dow falls more than 105 points to start the week. The Nasdaq off 35. The S&P loses 10. And we'll be right back.
For first, fast, accurate weather updates, watch First Alert Weather.
Today's public impeachment hearing centered on both sides laying out their legal case.
Democrats say the president abused his power and obstructed justice, while Republicans argue Democrats just want the president out of office.
If, in fact, President Trump can get away with what he did again, our imagination is the only limit to what President Trump may do next or what a future president may do next.
We don't have a crime. We don't have anything we can actually pin, and nobody understands really what the majority is trying to do, except that interfere and basically make sure that they believe the president can't win next year if he's impeached.
White House lawyers declined to participate in today's hearing. Instead, President Trump sent a flurry of tweets denouncing the proceedings. Republicans repeatedly challenged Chairman Jerry Nadler about how he's conducting the hearing. The committee could finalize articles of impeachment this week.
The Justice Department's internal watchdog has released its report on whether the FBI conducted illegal surveillance of the Trump campaign back in 2016. According to the 434-page report, Inspector General Michael Horowitz found no evidence of political bias or improper motivation in the Bureau's efforts to investigate possible collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. The report does highlight missteps by the FBI, including significant inaccuracies and omissions in applications the Bureau filed to monitor former Trump campaign advisor Carter Page.
The president has spent 3 years undermining the credibility and faith in our law enforcement and in our intelligence community.
They fabricated evidence and they lied to the courts. And they did all sorts of things to have it go their way.
FBI Director Christopher Wray says he accepts the Inspector General's conclusions and has ordered his agency to take dozens of corrective steps. Attorney General William Barr took issue with the report and has already ordered a separate internal investigation that he is overseeing.
New details continue to emerge in the wake of Friday's shooting at a naval base in Florida. Mohammed Saeed al-Shamrani shot and killed 3 sailors. He reportedly posted anti-American tweets right before the rampage. CBS News has learned he may have had some issues with one of his instructors who he did not like. No one has said how or where he purchased the Glock 9mm handgun that he used in the killings.
Search for survivors continues after one of New Zealand's most active volcanoes erupted overnight. Officials say at least 5 people are dead. More are missing. Webcam video appears to show at least one group of tourists inside the crater before the eruption. Authorities say at least 50 people were on the island at the time.
Oscar season is heating up with the announcement of this year's Golden Globe nominations this morning. The Netflix film Marriage Story earned 6 nominations. It will compete against Martin Scorsese's Netflix crime film The Irishman. 1917, Joker, The Two Popes are also in the Best Drama category. The Irishman landed 5 nominations. HBO's Chernobyl led the nominations on the TV side with 4 nods, and there were a few snubs, including HBO's final season of Veep and the critically acclaimed Netflix series When They See Us about the 1989 Central Park jogger case. For the 5th year in a row, the Golden Globes failed to nominate a single woman for Best Director.
Let's get a look at your first alert weather. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti bracing us for the cold snap coming, Gary.
So it's just starting to arrive right now, and you'll be dealing with it over the next couple of days. 3 things you need to know in the forecast. It'll be definitely colder for tomorrow and Wednesday. Look for high temperatures only in the teens and nighttime low temperatures in around between about 5 and 10 degrees with wind chills down to about 10 below zero early in the morning. Then on Thursday, it will be a little milder with high temperatures back in the lower 30s. There could be a chance for some light snow. And then as we head into the weekend, another weather system will develop just to our east on Saturday. It'll bring us some light snow or flurries, but it'll turn colder in the afternoon as temperatures drop off on the backside of that storm system. There was a band of snow that moved through southern Wisconsin, but really broke apart as it moved through the eastern portion of the state. You can see on Doppler track that band as it kind of held together here. As it moved through Iowa, it actually reduced visibility to near zero in spots and caused some traffic accidents. But as it moved through southern Wisconsin, it really broke apart pretty quickly. Now it's just the cold air that's in place, and because of that, we have alert days in the forecast tonight for slippery roads. As those temperatures drop pretty quickly, some of the roads are wet, and they may become a little icy in spots, especially if they haven't been treated. And by morning, we could be looking at wind chills down to 10 below zero. Much colder for tomorrow, with high temperatures only in the upper teens, and wind chills at times around zero during the day. And then on Wednesday morning, wind chills again down to about 10 below zero, with actual low temperatures in the middle single digits and high temperatures only in the middle teens. Over the next 10 days, those temperatures in the teens the next couple of days, going back to the low 30s on Thursday and upper 30s on Friday before falling temperatures on Saturday as some light snow moves through. Then temperatures slightly below normal for much of next week, but at least there the weather pattern should slow down pretty quickly. Live view from the Edgewater Skycam. The snow is gone from Madison. High today 41, the low 31, but that's where we are right now. That's the current temperature. Skies are cloudy. Winds have shifted to the west-northwest at 14 miles per hour. That drops the wind chill to 21. And you can see the difference in temperatures. Milwaukee still at 43. Madison now below freezing. La Crosse just barely above 20. And the temperatures are in the single digits above and below zero across Minnesota, where wind chills compared to 24 hours ago, those temperatures have dropped on the order of 15 to 30 degrees. That's the cold air that's moving in for the next couple of days. And look at the current wind chills. Madison still tolerable at 21, but we're seeing below zero wind chills in the Twin Cities and Austin, Minnesota, and close to 20 below zero wind chills over western Minnesota. So as this weather system sweeps by to the east, notice the upper level winds becoming more northwesterly. That's going to allow the colder air to come through. Looks like it'll be here for a couple of days, and then out to the west, another weather system along the west coast will eventually move eastward and start warming us up as winds shift back to a more southerly direction by the end of the week. On weather track, there's the cold front that's already moving out into Lake Michigan. There's a second cold front that'll sweep through tomorrow night with not much in the way of precipitation, actually nothing expected in the way of precipitation here, but it'll just help to reinforce the cold air. And while our temperatures are just dropping below freezing, it's already down to zero near the U.S.-Canadian border. So on future track, those strong northwesterly winds and westerly winds will continue overnight. They'll start to die down tomorrow morning. We'll see sunshine, but temperatures only in the teens for tomorrow and for Wednesday. A little weather system passing to the south will miss us for tomorrow night. And then by Thursday, notice the winds becoming more southeasterly. There could be a chance for some light snow or flurries, and temperatures will be back up into the lower 30s. So for tonight, look for cloudy skies. I think the snow is pretty much over with. It'll be clearing and turning colder late with a low of 10. For tomorrow, look for a high temperature of only 18 degrees, so mostly sunny skies. Wind chills at times could be down around zero. At future track, notice the clouds clearing out late tonight. That'll allow temperatures to drop into the single digits and lower teens. Highs tomorrow only getting into the upper teens. Tomorrow night, a weather system passing to the south could bring a few clouds there. Otherwise, temperatures in the middle single digits and high temperatures only in the middle teens again for Wednesday. 7 to 10 day forecast. Look for those temperatures to get back up into the 30s for Thursday and Friday. Saturday, we'll see falling temperatures from that morning high of 34 and then back into the 20s by Saturday afternoon. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, high temperatures between about 20 and 25, maybe a few flurries toward the end of next week. As we take a look at first alert traffic right now, actually the Beltline looking pretty good. That's the view at Park Street. A little slowdown in the westbound direction, but eastbound is moving pretty quickly. Notice you can see the roads are somewhat wet, and as temperatures drop below freezing, that could lead to some slippery road surfaces. Seeing some delays mainly in the westbound direction between about Fish Hatchery Road and Park Street. Nothing really in the eastbound direction. So as far as travel times are concerned, 17 minutes on the eastbound Beltline from University Avenue to the interstate, 19 minutes going back in the westbound direction. Heading out of Madison, 25 minutes to Janesville on I-3990 from the Beltline southward, 19 minutes to Sauk City on US 12, and 16 minutes to Sun Prairie on East Washington Avenue and US 151. At your News 3 Now, First Alert Traffic.
All right, thank you, Gary.
Still ahead at 5 with a massive shortage of organ donations. One organization is encouraging young people to get involved and to become donors. We'll have more on the student movement taking place on college campuses straight ahead.
News
There is a massive shortage of organ donations in this country.
Now, one organization is going after students to fill the gap. Kenneth Craig has the story.
Corey Wyndham recently decided to become an organ donor, signing up on his college campus at Quinnipiac University.
I saw this event, I was like, this is the perfect opportunity to help other people.
Fellow classmates recruited him at a registration drive targeting young people, run by an organization called SODA, or Student Organ Donation Advocates.
My sister passed away at the young age of 14.
For Sarah Miller, who started the group when she was just 18 at Washington University in St. Louis, the mission is personal.
On the worst day of our lives, my family decided that Laura would be an organ donor. And little did we know, 1,000 miles away in upstate New York, a special education teacher was dying of liver failure. And my sister's liver was the reason that this special education teacher, Trish, is able to be alive today.
More than 120,000 people nationwide are waiting for organs. Dr. Sander Florman is the director of the Transplant Institute at Mount Sinai Hospital and says there is a major imbalance between the supply and demand.
We desperately need more organs, and this is a matter of life and death. This is life-saving for most of the people who are waiting.
Since Miller launched her first student group 5 years ago, it's expanded to 21 chapters at high schools and colleges across the country.
We believe that students are a critical component to helping to reduce the organ shortage.
She hopes her family's story will encourage more young people to register to donate and save lives just as her sister did. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, Hamden, Connecticut.
And stay with us. We'll have another check of your forecast in a moment.
Tonight on the CBS Evening News, disaster in New Zealand. At least 5 people dead after a massive volcano erupts. Reports of Americans among the missing. Was it a witch hunt? Today's report on the FBI and Russian meddling, what you need to know. And Santa Claus is coming to town, but these kids are having a blue Christmas. We'll meet the photographer capturing it all. Those stories and more tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And here comes the big chill.
Yeah, temperatures are dropping pretty rapidly now. You can see the difference. Milwaukee 43, Madison now down to 30. It's already down to around 20 in Prairie du Chien, so that's about a 20-degree temperature drop just across the southern part of the state. Wind chills are in the teens and single digits to our west. Those winds are also pretty strong too, so keep that in mind if you're out on the roads tonight. Could be some slippery spots as well.
All right, we're back in a half hour for News 3 Now at 6. Stay tuned now for the CBS Evening News.